Hey, good morning everybody. It's December. I haven't been on the bike in a couple of weeks, but it's a sunshiny day, and according to my phone, it's 38 degrees. According to the little temperature sensor thing I got, it's 43 degrees. So let's assume it's somewhere in between. Intro. And hey, here we are back on our bike, enjoying a morning ride on our way to work. So in the chain maintenance video, I did say that would be the last decent weekend. I think it was like 60 degrees that Saturday when I did that. And for the next video after that, I had actually planned on doing a toy run with the McPherson American Legion post up that way. A friend of mine from work had invited me there to participate in that. I'd never done a toy run before, and I thought I'd try to document that footage and share it with everybody else. But that day, it actually snowed something like 6 inches. I mean, we just got hit. And I still went to the American Legion post up there and hung out with my friend and watched the toy auction and bought a few tickets for the raffle and, helped the cause out a little bit there. But yeah, no one rode two wheels that day. And then the following week after that, everything was just kind of froze over. And while I don't necessarily mind riding in cold, I'm dressed for it. I'm not prepared to ride in snow and ice. I know there are some diehards out there that will still plow through and carry the torch, so to speak, and good on you. That's not what I'm going to do. So I spent the next week in my car, which allowed me to participate in my other winter loves of smoking my pipe or enjoying a cigar. Neither of those things are very good to do while you're trying to ride a motorcycle. And then this week I really hadn't planned on putting out a video because I was supposed to be deer hunting. We're right in the middle of rifle season here in Kansas. That got squashed because my pickup truck, the brakes have either sprung a leak somewhere in one of the lines or I lost my master cylinder. I'm leaning more towards a leak, but whatever the case may be, braking has become a pleasant suggestion rather than an absolute command. And if I'm going to be traipsing around in the backcountry, I really want my brakes to work as intended, especially if part of that getting to that backcountry is highway. So today I've got the mechanic coming by to actually pick up the truck. My wife actually made that call. They'll come by, pick up the truck, and then I guess we'll see how long it takes and how much damage is going to be done financially to get it back. But I think regular rifle season for me is shot this year. I suppose the good news is in January there's a 2-week late season doe only. I'll probably go out on a couple of weekends there and see if I can, tag something. So anyway, since I couldn't go hunting, and since I'm back to riding the bike because the ground is no longer ice, I thought I'd strap on the camera and just do a little update video of what's been going on. But yeah, that's basically it. Snow and ice on the roads are why I didn't put out a video last week. I just won't ride on that. It's not worth it. Now some might say riding around in, 40-degree weather ain't worth it either. And for them it's not. But for me, I just see the sunshine and it's like, if I'm not riding during the sunshine, then I'm robbing myself. Now, temperature does have its limits, but I tell you what, these Kemimoto heated gloves, they really up my riding game as far as how much cold weather I can take. Honestly, with the other gloves that I had, the leather ones, I wouldn't be able, this ride would be killing me right now, even with heated grips. Yeah, my palms would be okay, but the backs of my hands, they would be just absolutely in pain from the cold. And you know, if you're in pain on your bike, that's no good, because that's a distraction. Your mind is constantly thinking about how miserable you are, and you're not paying attention to your road or your surroundings. And again, I suppose that's why some people don't feel like it's just worth it to get out. They've retired their bikes for the winter, stuck them under a cover or in their garage, put their battery tender on there and just trickle charge it all winter. Maybe start it up once or twice. I don't know. I don't have that luxury. And even if I did, would I use it? I don't know, I don't think so. I don't consider myself obsessed with riding. I just like it. I just would rather be on two wheels, you know, feeling the air, even if it's cold like this or 100 degrees in the summertime, than being in my car. Look at the flag over there. I know I could feel the wind coming to me from the side. So yeah, that's the other thing. We're not just talking 40 degrees static temperature here. We already have wind blowing, which I'm sure is driving the temperature down. And then the wind I'm creating on the bike, which of course is definitely driving the temperature down. There's a chart out there that I will sometimes refer to, and it'll tell me what the wind chill is on a motorcycle. And that is really a good test if you know just how good your gear is for this colder weather riding. For example, I know my gear is not good into the 20s static temperature. Well, you know, I guess I can talk a little bit about these gloves. I have been using them, and they're good. I don't know if I'd give them a great, but they're good for sure. I guess I'll tell you what I do like about them. They're reasonably warm. In other words, my hands aren't aching. My hands aren't, you know, dying of freezing. The construction, the flexibility, the little rubber thing on the finger. I actually haven't had a chance to use that, even though it did rain on me a little bit last night. It wasn't really enough to interfere with my vision. The water just rolled off my visor, so I didn't really have to wipe anything. But I mean, it's there. I like it. It's a nice option. I like having options. I do like and hate both the Smart Finger or the Real Touch on the gloves. They work, but not great. But that's probably because, you know, my phone is on a flexible mount, vibrating dampener mount. So, you know, it takes a little more pressure than, you know, a bare finger to get things moving. A couple of things I don't like is I wish the cuff came up a little bit higher, like another inch. But I mean, it is fine. It doesn't let air back down in underneath it. It's just a personal preference. I would have preferred more cuff. And something that caught me by surprise was that when you first turn these on, it comes right up to the red marker, and you feel like, okay, well, that's where it's just going to stay. And it doesn't. After like 5 minutes, it'll back itself down to the blue, the middle temperature. And then if you want it hot again, you have to cycle back through the process, and then to where it's red again. Now they've stayed red today because I finally caught on to that after a couple of times of watching it turn blue. And so I just turned it on, it turned red. I cycled through the settings and brought it back to red, and it's been there ever since. Now, with that being said, how warm do these gloves get really? Well, not real warm. They get warm enough to take the edge off, but that's about it. Like right now, my fingertips are feeling the cold. Not painfully so, not like what I would otherwise be, but enough to know that, you know, I don't feel warm. And the rest of my hand isn't warm. It's just a nice neutral temperature, which is great. Actually, it's better than being freezing, so I'll take it. So these are doing, you know, kind of what they're supposed to do, but I actually expected to feel heat. I'm surprised that I don't. I don't know if that's an unreal expectation or if that's just the way it is with these particular gloves. But I'm not unhappy with them. I'm not ecstatic over them. I'm not going to rave about them and tell you they're the bestest thing ever. And honestly, had I been going hunting this week, I would have happily taken them out to the field with me and just tested them there while I'm sitting, you know, sitting still, because I am asking an awful lot out of these gloves right now. I've got no hand covers, so my hands are just out there in the wind. And asking a pair of gloves to keep my hands warm in, you know, upper 30, lower 40 degree temperatures while riding a motorcycle at 70 miles an hour, that's a tall ask in my opinion. So if the gloves can, you know, if I don't feel warmth but I'm not cold either, then I think the gloves are a success and they're doing their job. I guess that's the best way I'll put it. Now if I actually did feel warmth in my hands, in my fingertips, instead of just from a neutral to a slightly cool, that would be even better, because then I would be raving about that. But right now they're on their highest setting, and like I said, the backs of my hands and the backs of my fingers generally are just a nice neutral temperature. My palms aren't feeling any cold. The only thing that's actually cold right now, for whatever reason, is that my right index fingertip. Not sure why that's cold and my left one isn't, but whatever. It's not horrible. So these are doing their job. I'm happy with them. I would recommend getting them if you're doing riding like this, and I would recommend these if you just want a decent set of weatherproof or weather resistant heated gloves. I guess maybe that's all I had for this video. Didn't really have anything specific to talk about today, but I did want to catch you up and let you know what's been going on and talk about these gloves a bit more. I do like them. I do like them. Anyway, that's all I've got. Catch you later. Well, okay. I lied. I wasn't done earlier. Just now getting off work. And we're going to really see what these gloves are all about. It says here 37 feels like 32. And that's corroborated by my little micro dot thingy down there. Another 37 degrees. So it feels like 32. Okay. Well, let's see if these bad boys are going to hold up to that. I think they will. Let's take a bet on it. We'll turn them on right now. Run them through. Get them cooking. The only thing like I said, I wish the cuff was longer. It'd make things so much easier with putting them on, but oh well. The battery sits right there. It's not really intrusive. Might as well get the bike warmed up. Am I zippered up? Yeah, I'm zippered up. All right, I'm ready, but I know, oh, hold on. I know the bike isn't. So we'll check back in with you guys in a few minutes when I'm going down the road. Gotta love that nighttime riding. I see so many animals on this road after dark. Some roadkill that wasn't there when I was on my way to work. Dodged several deer. That's an unusual one, especially this time of year and a couple of weeks before when rut was going on. Holy smokes. Then of course possums, raccoons, coyote or two, fox or two, feral cats, all kinds of animals. But none of them are quite as bad as the car drivers that refuse to turn their brights off as they're coming up on me from the opposite direction. Now I will turn my LED center headlamp from bright to dim, but I'm not turning off my road lights, my two littler lights on either side. Those are why I can see so well. I don't know how well you can see, but I can see great. And yeah, I'm the one that needs to see great, especially traveling at night. I'm not sure if I said it before in a previous video somewhere, I might have, but literally of my overall riding, 40% is after dark. It's either before the sun comes up if I'm on day shift, or after the sun has gone down like I am right now. I've never really, except for roofing, had a job where I could start work during the day and end, you know, still during the day. Whenever I moved to Kansas and started getting these factory positions, you know, manufacturing positions, yeah, that all ended. And either all of my life or part of my life was spent in the dark. And this is no exception. This is just what it is. When I say all of my life, I mean my work life. Because I worked third shift for, gosh, 15 years, I think, roughly around there, 14, 15 years. The shift I'm on now is kind of a weird hybrid shift. I work from 11 to 9, and that's only going to be for a little while. I expect sometime next year, early next year, January sometime, maybe February. I should probably be bounced over to a full-time first shift. And that's actually going to be not so fun because first shift traditionally starts at 7 a.m., but if you're manufacturing like I am, they like to tack on their overtime earlier. So that means I'd have to get up at 4 a.m. to get to work at 5 a.m., and that's like the coldest part of the morning. Like right now, it's now 37 it says, right? But in a couple of more hours, it's going to probably drop down to easily 32. I don't know, I haven't looked at the full forecast, but I know that 4 to 5 a.m. is absolutely frigid out here, and that's awful. But it'll swing up to like 55, 60 in the afternoon when you want to come home. So, you know, what do? You either just quit riding or you learn how to deal with the cold in the part of the day where, you know, you have to, and you learn how to layer, and then you go home when it's comfortable, I guess. You know, I mean, that's what I have been doing. Well, I'm always considering putting a top box on my bikes just so I have more storage on my bike so I can layer more appropriately, so, you know, I'm well protected in this cold weather and I'm not dying when I get inside the factory and I start working. You know, I need some place to put my gear. Now I will say, since we last talked about having a place to put my gear and I said I don't have a locker and any of that, that is still true. However, because I am being moved off the machines that have gotten me on this shift and moving on to a full-time day shift or a full day shift, that actually means that I was able to talk to my boss and somebody else, a maintenance guy, and they built me a box that I could put my tool chest on, and they left me in charge of the dimensions that I want my box, my steel box with wheels that I can put my tool chest on, so I can move from one machine to the other and bring my stuff with me easily. And that steel box that they built me just happens to be big enough to carry my helmet, my jacket, my motorcycle pants, and my boots. So I guess in a way I actually do have a locker now. Anyway, we're going to let you guys go for a little bit, and when I get closer to home, which will be another 35 minutes from now, I'll let you know how these gloves are doing. But right now, you might be able to see I have them on the highest setting, and like I was earlier today, not warm, not like a feeling of warmth, but just a feeling of a comfortable type of neutrality, right? I'm not cold, I'm not hot, I'm just there. And that's good enough for me. So we'll check back in with you in a bit. Okay, we just got home, and as you can see, the temperature did drop a little bit. 35 feels like 30. So alrighty then. So what do I think? I think these gloves are okay, but I think this is about their limit. My hands are properly chilly, but they're not cold and they're not hurting. They're not numb, but I don't know. I still like them. They'll still work. They're still doing the job, and I would still recommend them. But I gotta say, if you're looking for something more extreme in your cold weather riding, you should probably keep looking, because these are probably coming into their limit. I don't see them being very great another 10 degrees colder, honestly. But being totally honest, they're miles better than what I had before, because my hands would absolutely be dying right now. So they're enough to keep the edge off. My hands are chilly, but they're not absolutely cold and frozen. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they're still a win. I feel like there's better stuff out there. I don't know what it is, though. I guess maybe because I expect my hands to be actually warm. And maybe that's just ignorance on my part. But anyway, now the video's done. For real, it's done. Good night.